Yeah,
Peace.
this next topic is related because it also has to do with media propaganda and fake news. So BBC is accusing Eva Bartlett and Vanessa Beeley for
Yeah.
committing crimes after they reported on war crimes that the U.S. committed against Syria. So a BBC reporter named Chloe, and I'm gonna botch her last name here, Haji Mateo, is that how you say it? Haji Mateo sent them both a letter about a series called Mayday about the white helmets. Um, and the co-founder of the White Helmets, James Lemazure, I'm botching that name as well. So she accused both of them of conspiracy theories um, for their reporting on the Syria Duma gas attacks that, and then she even threatened them with possible indictment. So these gas attacks, based off of scientific evidence, were shown to be more than likely staged and was not what is proposed by the mainstream Western media to have been Assad and his government attacking their own people. That's not what the science shows happened. And Vanessa Beeley, like she is a well-known journalist. Like she is very well respected. She is one of the 238 most respected journalists in the UK by the British National Council for the Training of Journalists. And she also received the Serena Shim Award in 2019 for uncompromising integrity in journalism. So she is not some random or hack journalist or someone with no credentials. She is recognized as one of the best journalists in this world. So, what are your thoughts about how about this hostility towards these journalists that are trying to call out these war crimes committed by the West?
It's an international war on truth. That's what.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the Western allies.
Yeah, it's not. But everybody's suppressing the truth. Always, power is suppressing the truth, right? Yeah, because there's certain truths that power doesn't like, that are inconvenient or, against their interests. And I can't say that a lot of times if the poor people, if the disempowered got power, that they wouldn't also have the same problems. Yeah, but if you're looking for who's doing it, it's the people with something to lose.
Jack, how would you tie this in, like this going after these journalists, to what happened to Julian Assange? Do you think that this is connected?
Well, definitely. Regarding the whole Syrian chemical gas attack that obviously did not occur, back in January, my girlfriend Christy Doff asked Tulsi Gabbard to comment on the OPCW report that had been debunked by WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks revealed that there was no evidence that Assad used chemical weapons against protesters, and Tulsi Gabbard was conspicuously hesitant to answer that question. Now, if we're going to go back on Wikipedia and we're going to look at the article for Eva Bartlett. It says Eva Bartlett is a Canadian activist and blogger who is known for promoting conspiracy theories about Syria. She writes op-eds for the television network RT. Now, right there, promoting conspiracy theories, automatically it's clouding your impression of her. Then it says she writes op-eds for RT. That's obviously intended to be a dig that, anybody who writes for RT is untrustworthy. Fascinatingly, the two sources they cite to prove that she writes for RT are not RT. They cite the Washington Post and Newsweek. Wikipedia's hostility to RT is so intense that they can't even cite RT just to say somebody writes for it. There's also one sentence here. In her early blogging career, Bartlett concentrated on Gaza with no explanation of what that means. This is a part of, we can see that with the OPCW report, the media just decided to ignore it, which shows the extent to which WikiLeaks has been denigrated in the popular imagination. And this attack on these journalists, Eva Bartlett and the Vanessa Beeley, is that her name?
Yeah, Vanessa Beeley.
Right. It's obviously part of the larger war, just like the crackdown on social media's coverage of the New York Post article is another example of the same. I mean, hopefully these two women don't find themselves in the same plight as Assange, but you can see that anybody who goes against the official narrative is going to face some kind of opposition, be it algorithms, outright censorship, harassment, persecution, and even in some cases prosecution.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely seeing the precedent set here with Assange taking its effect here on other journalists. And also the Wikipedia page for Vanessa Beeley is absolutely disgusting. They paint her as a conspiracy theorist and a pro-Assad and like an apologist for Assad, and like it's like I said earlier, they have all these pro-imperialist people who edit Wikipedia. Like you can't even cite the gray zone, even though the gray zone has never had to redact an article before.
You know, the thing is that, right, those of us, right, that want to fight for the right things, the people who are fighting for the wrong things, they have something material to gain, maybe millions of dollars at stake, so they're going to fight real hard for it. You get what I mean?
Of course.
But people like us that see that something is wrong, we don't have millions of dollars invested in it. You know what I mean? We know it's wrong. We know that overall for society and the world it's bad. Yeah, but how can we win this fight? We have to really be hardcore ruthless. We have to go so hard. We have to really turn it up.
Yeah, it's up to us to expose like the hypocrisy here with the mainstream media. And Ben Norton published another whistleblower from the OPCW reports showing the connection that the UK government had with BBC and Al Jazeera and all that. And I just want to point out also like the good work that Vanessa Beeley did in discussing the white helmets and how, you know, there was like a documentary recently praising the white helmets, even though the white helmets has deep ties with Al-Qaeda, which attacked us on 9/11. And so how can this be a humanitarian group when you're tied with Al-Qaeda and there's all this overwhelming evidence showing how they kidnap people and kill people?
The Wikipedia article for Bartlett also says, quote, critics contend that her advocacy amounts to support for the Assad regime, and she has promoted the falsehood that the White Helmet stage rescues and recycle children in its videos. Again, promoted the falsehood, just declaring it as an absolute fact that criticism of the White Helmets is invariably false.
Absolutely ridiculous. It's great that there's people like us who discuss this and expose this. It's great that there are people like Vanessa Beeley and Eva Bartlett, who expose this stuff. Also, everybody at the Gray Zone, everybody at Mint Press News. We just have to keep sharing this stuff and point out to people how none of this information is redacted. So, any last comments you want to give about this topic?
Well, I mean, it's a really deadly fight because we're fighting a much larger communal group that's like better organized and, you know, has a lot more resources. Yeah, it's very disturbing. Yeah,
for sure. But it is up to us. Just like it's up to us.
Think about how many voices, right? We have to fight far harder for this lady because how many other journalists will see what happened to her, look at her Wikipedia and be willing to destroy their own careers, especially if they have children, especially if they have employees, especially if they have, you know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like look at Dak, right? He's got his girlfriend, right? You're starting your business, overwritten.org. Yeah. What happens if, you know, you have a family and then, you know, they try to shut down your stuff, man?
Yeah, or they try to ruin your reputation. It's meant to discourage people from going against the Western imperialist machine.
Yeah. We gotta fight for this lady. Let's help her out somehow.
You know, and then this leads to
know her. Look, you know what I mean? We want to help.
Right. And then this leads to like a bunch of Mehdi Hassans who are afraid to have integrity. And then they like sell themselves out, sell their souls so that they work for MSNBC and get an MSNBC contract.
Can you imagine how depressing that must be? His new colleague is John Brennan.
Jesus. Ugh. Oh my gosh. And Sam Cedar. Sam Cedar also has a MSNBC contract.
Joe Scarborough, Chuck Todd, dude, it's an all-star cast.
Have you guys seen like the recent Jimmy Dore videos where he's like almost every segment he's calling out people with MSNBC contracts. We know who he's calling out. He's calling out Sam Cedar.
I haven't seen Jimmy Dore in about 6 or 7 months, something like that. But yeah, I remember he did have a particular hatred for a lot of the people at MSNBC. Chris Hayes is at MSNBC, right?
Yeah, Rachel Maddow.
Oh well, yeah,
Right?
she's
It's
just
like
an obvious
Russiagate
one.
Central is MSNBC.
But this is my thought on the American corporate media. After the election of 2016, most of the presidents of those companies like CNN and MSNBC should have been fired, and the new president should have implemented a very strong change of direction. However, after the release of the Mueller report, that's when a lot of the commentators and pundits should have been fired. That's when you should have seen them go after people like Bill Maher. Bill Maher should not have a show. Rachel Maddow should not have a show. And I'm not saying
View, everybody at the View, that shouldn't exist.
Right, they should be pulled off the air. Seth Abramson should have been fired from UNH Manchester, or at the very least, people should just refuse to support it. I mean, I've never watched an episode of Rachel Maddow, and I never will. Bill Maher, I haven't watched that man in a very long time. Like, we as consumers need to be more responsible in our choices.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like what you and Pierce always say. We got to do what we can to inform people and pull them out of this matrix, to get them to stop watching corporate television, news, all that, so that they can be informed about what's actually happening and not fall for this organized propaganda machine, as what we saw documented in that Ben Norton article in The Gray Zone.
But the news is very slick, right? Yeah? They give the people something that they like. It's even like, if you take a look at like little babies, right? Yeah, they love to hear the same music over and over again, and just the way that the show was produced, yeah, they have their opening reel, they have their thing, you know what I mean? They have the very bright colors, they have the beautiful faces, you know. The whole thing is really designed, yeah, with a high level of production to capture our attention, yeah. So we have, you know what I mean? We have to really But the thing is that
they make it look legit, right? With the way that it's designed and everything.
Yeah. But what they cannot do is they cannot be innovators, because they are bureaucratic, because they are large, because they are monolithic. Yeah. We can be avant-garde. So our weakness is our strength as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think we can close off here. I appreciate you, Ed, and Dak.
Beyond, man. I'm so proud about what you're doing, man. I'm so happy to be part of this. PAN is the best thing going on in the Tulsi Activist Network. I've been trying to find activists all over the nation. You know, like right now, I'm organizing with the Yang Gang on the day of election. We're all going to get together, and we're going to take pictures and show Yang Gang votes. You know what I mean? I want the Tulsi people to come out. You know what I mean? Contact your local. You can contact me. I'll try to put you in contact with someone locally, or you can contact, if you know people from the election time, holler at them, take a picture on that day, show that Tulsi people vote, you know?
That's Ed is a tornado of energy on the ground in the activist movement. I really appreciate the work that he does. Hey man, PAN is up and coming. For the viewers out there, make sure you share this video. I'm gonna cut up some segments as well. You can share those to people. Because PAN is like a new up and coming media, like, which includes me, includes Dak, Israel, Ed, Pierce, also Charles Anderson of the Lone Wolf podcast. We're all part of this network where we are, you know, we get together and discuss these issues, and give you guys, you know, a different perspective. Like we bring different perspectives together and have a conversation, because that's something rare that you see in a lot of these channels, where it becomes sort of an echo chamber. So we hold each other's feet to the fire a lot of times. So yeah, Dak, any closing remarks you want to give? Any shout outs about your channel, the work that you're giving?
Well, just published a couple of articles this week. Wrote an expose on a pseudo-journalist who wrote a slanderous piece against yours truly, and then had more important things to do today. I wrote an article talking about, at overwritten.org, that is, talking about Amy Coney Barrett and the feminist contradiction. I think that Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearings raise some uncomfortable questions about what feminism actually means in the year 2020 and how the Democrats need to revisit their definition of the term.
Got it. And
What
then,
you got coming up, Franco? You got any? I know you always got cool interviews. You just finished Convo Couch. That was crazy, man.
Yeah, for people who
else
haven't
you got
checked
coming
it out yet, check out that interview that I had with our friend Pasta of the Convo Couch.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he and I have spoken before.
Yeah, we talked about ballot harvesting. We talked about the division within the left, and he is aware of all of our work. I know you've been on the Convo Couch, Dak, and he's also interviewed you in person. So yeah,
Yes.
it's great to network here with the progressive movement, progressive media. We're out here trying to expose the truth for you all. So thank you guys again so much
Who's
for
coming
watching.
up next? Who's coming up next? You always got some. Yeah.
Next up, I haven't reached out yet to anybody, but
Okay, cool.
it's gonna
Hit us
be
up.
it's gonna
Hit
be a
us
good
up.
one.
Yeah, we do interviews. What up?
Yeah. All right, you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to Dak's channel, Ed's channel, and also
Yes.
Israel's channel, which are linked in the description.
Peace.
Stay
Thanks.
informed.